The four of us will face the danger. We will protect you.
Family. It's about connecting to something bigger than yourself. We'll face it.
Marvel Studios' The Fantastic Four: First Steps is back as the first family faces their most daunting challenge yet. It's in theaters starting July 25th, and in honor of The Thing, the Fantastic Four's iconic Rocky hero, we are celebrating International Rock Day. But what kind of rocks could actually make up his body if he lived right here in North Texas? Well, here to separate fact from fiction is geologist and educator Becca Piero, who's made a career out of turning geology into entertainment. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you.
So glad to have you here. So let's start with the obvious. When you see The Thing's big, orange, craggy body, what kind of rock really comes to mind, or what does it remind you of as a geologist?
Great question.
Yeah.
And it's so much fun to think of it from a geologist's perspective.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, so that those deep cracks that he has in his body and that kind of craggly look that he has really reminds me of what you might see when you see dried mud.
Oh, okay.
And those smooth kind of spaces in between. So it makes me think of mudstone. And so mudstone is just basically mud that then becomes lithified into rock. And then the second thing that you might think of is that orange hue that he has, correct? And that's just basically that rusted look is what you see when you have iron that then is exposed to water and air. And that's what we, just basically a rusted look. And so iron then is oxidized, and that we see that actually here in this rock.
Interesting.
And so that can cause that orange hue.
What's this rock called?
That's a conglomerate. But
Conglomerate
yeah,
rock.
and that is actually caused by the iron that is in the conglomerate.
Interesting. Literally everything is tied together. This is really going obviously over my head. I am not a scientist or a geologist in any aspect of life, but this is actually really interesting because these things are actually around us. And I think as we walk around and we're just walking, you know what I mean? We're not worried about the rocks that are under our feet, but they really play a huge role in our daily lives. So if you can, because The Thing is pretty tough as well, are there any rocks that really remind you of him just as far as toughness, durable, they're strong, just as he seems to be?
Yes. So although the rocks that are on the surface in North Texas are not specifically that strong because they're all sediments, and so they're softer rocks. If you dig a little deeper, there are some basement rocks that are quite strong here in North Texas. And so I actually have an example of that here, and that's called Banded Iron Formation, and it is quite strong. It's made of iron. It has a fun nickname, Biff.
Biff?
Banded Iron Formation.
Oh my God, Banded Iron Formation.
Yes.
I'm learning things today.
Yes, and so it's quite strong, and it's quite old, and it's...
this is cool, though.
Yes, it is cool, and it has those beautiful striations to it, like those stripes. And it's quite old, as I mentioned, and very deep in the earth.
My goodness. Okay, that's definitely a cool one for sure. I want to get to these ones over here, though, because these have my heart. And these ones are just because of the colors. This one's a nice, beautiful aquamarine, but this one right here, this is one I feel like people see a lot.
Well, actually, you would see that if you cracked open a geode. So
okay.
Yes. So you would see that probably in some of the local museums around here, and that would be something easily seen. It's not quite local to North Texas.
Yeah, not at all.
No, no, but we have wonderful museums here, and so you would see it in one of them. You can go
see it there. Yes. Specifically,
a wonderful one to see it up close.
Now, what about this one right here? Because I love this aquamarine color.
Yeah, that's called fuchsite, and it's actually chromium silicate. So yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it?
Yes.
I just brought it up. I just brought it because it's so showy.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but it's a mineral.
You gotta bring the gorgeous rocks with you, okay?
Yes.
We love the regular rocks too.
I thought you might like it.
Tell me, what makes rocks so important, especially to just the ecosystem in general? And I mentioned why we should pay attention to them more, or just pay attention to our surroundings in general.
Right.
And so, because International Rock Day is this weekend,
it's
tell us
coming
more.
Up, yes.
Yeah, tell me why we should pay more attention to them.
Well, really, rocks are foundational to our modern life. I mean, the sediments in North Texas are really critical for what we have, for what powers how we live.
Yeah.
I mean, the petroleum here that is under our feet were formed from the marine sediments from long ago
My goodness.
when this whole state was underwater. And then that's just a bit of it, because we also have minerals and other building stones that are used
This is
every
really
day.
just cracking the surface, basically, is what it sounds like.
I mean, we have ceramics, we
My
have
goodness.
Paint, cosmetics, electronics, lithium from these
batteries,
minerals
all
for
the
batteries.
things. You've really taught us so much this morning. I mean, the rocks really are involved in everything. Becca, thank you so much
You're
for being here.
welcome.